Graham Stephan just said that the best way to grow on YouTube is to post more shorts. The entrepreneur slash creator has close to 4 million subscribers on YouTube, and he has reported to have generated close to $3 million just in YouTube ad revenue in the last year. And on a recent podcast, Graham was asked about his thoughts on what is the best way to grow on YouTube. Let's say if someone just created a channel or has a small channel. And this is what Graham said.
What advice would you have for a creator starting today?
Shorts.
He immediately answered shorts. Post shorts. I'm Abhi, and welcome back to the GRND Media Podcast. Today is our 4th episode, and we're going to talk about why the biggest opportunity to grow your presence on YouTube is happening right now before our very own eyes, and it's called YouTube Shorts. Short-form vertical video content has taken over the world these last couple of years, and many creators have started to become full-time content creators because the opportunity presented by short-form platforms like TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram Reels is unprecedented. It doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur or a small business owner using these mediums to increase sales and awareness, or if you're a creator who provides educational content, for example, or if you simply use these platforms as a creative outlet. The census is that Shorts is here to stay, and it is the best way to grow your following right now at this time. Now, if you don't know what short form content is, it's basically a video that's less than 60 seconds. More often than not, it's less than 30 or even 15 seconds. It's in a vertical video format that's consumed on mobile devices like smartphones and posted on platforms such as TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels. And on these platforms, the way you consume short form video content is by seamlessly scrolling up and down between different content pieces. Now, this way you can consume countless number of content pieces, videos, in less than a minute. You can possibly consume up to 30, 40, 50 pieces of content in less than 2 to 3 minutes. It's absolutely insane the amount of content that you can consume at this time, and also the adverse effects of that it has on our attention span. One of the most interesting things is this type of short form video content can be extremely addictive. I'm sure you guys have seen countless news articles talking about the addictive and the adverse side effects. I understand that, but today what we're going to focus on is how to grow on these platforms. Not just become a consumer of these platforms and this type of video content, but how to become a producer, and that way grow your brand, grow your awareness, increase sales, and positively impact your life in some type of way by growing a following. That's what we're going to focus on today. Now, although it can be very addictive, as the algorithm gets scary good at figuring out very fast what type of content that you like. I mean, even a couple of videos, let's say you create a new TikTok account and you're scrolling for just 10 to 15 minutes, the algorithm is going to pick up very quickly what type of content you like. And the way these algorithms on these short form video content works, obviously they all have their nuances, but the way that it works is let's say a creator posts a video. They go ahead and take that video and try that video in front of a small group of audience members. If that small group of audience members likes the content, engages with the content, comments on the content, then they spread it to a larger group. And if that larger group likes it, then they keep spreading it. And that's usually how they disseminate this piece of content out to their audiences. Obviously, there's nuances, but that's the basis of how this works. Now, I wanted to tell you guys a little bit more about me, Abhi, about GRND Media, because I feel like the last 3 episodes of these podcasts really haven't delved into about me personally or what GRND Media is, and I kind of want to provide more information. And specifically what I want to focus on in this episode is bring a sense of credibility. Why do I have the ability to talk about this? Is because I have found some success posting short form video content, and this is why this is a passion of mine. This is a passion of ours at GRND Media, and we want to share these strategies and tricks and tips that have worked for us. And this platform, this podcast, is a means of us doing so. So I personally manage a few brands using TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram Reels. And one of the brands I own in the last 28 days has done 8.9 million views on TikTok, accounting for 10K follower growth in less than 30 days. On YouTube, that same brand in the last 28 days has done 600K views, amounting to 600 subscribers. And on Instagram Reels, that same brand has done 3.6 million views, amounting to 1,300 followers in just the last couple of weeks. This is all from short form video content in a niche of tech and computers. If you're watching on video, if you're watching this podcast on video, I am showing you guys the screenshots of this now. Now, these are one of my brands. I do have a personal goal of getting Grind Media and Grind Media's channels up there. Now, all of these brands are relatively small. Most of the brands that I own are less than 100K in followers across these platforms. But we have found a framework that has worked for us. Now, we're not there in the hundreds of thousands or millions, but we have found a framework that's working. And we do have some clients that are up there. They're actually past 100,000. And some of the framework that we've used in our personal brands, we've helped them with their brands, and it seems to be working and growing their following. So this is why we have this podcast. It's to share our experience. Obviously, everything I'm going to share here, it's going to be about our experience, but if we hear about other tips and tricks that work for others, we're also going to plan to share here. But this is what we love the podcast format, because we want y'all, the listeners, to take this strategy that we're giving out and really do your own research, try it out even, and then tell us your experience, because you are the best point of contact for us to see what's working. So I really implore you. Now, enough of that. Let's get back into this podcast. Now, my goal would be to keep growing that specific account that I just told you about that's doing millions of views in the last 28 days, and use that similar framework to help my clients out, basically. The other creators that I'm helping out, the other creators that are my clients as well. Now, I don't use this information to brag. They are creators that are doing a lot better than we are. There are creators doing a lot worse, but it's not really a comparative way of thinking. This content creation really can be a struggle and a deadlock for many people if they start comparing. So that's not my intent in this. I am not using it to brag. I'm just letting you know how big the opportunity is now with short form video content. And if someone like me and my team can do it, and it sounds cliche, you can do it too. The opportunity right now across platforms like TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram Reels is unprecedented. The amount of organic reach you can reach on these platforms is unprecedented. Now is one of the easiest times to grow a following on short form video content and platforms like TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram Reels. Now, let's get into the mechanics of short form content. Now, I've talked about the opportunity and how big the opportunity is, and people like Graham Stephan that have done extremely well, even done extremely well across YouTube for the last decade, and it's built a great following, has just said that the best way to grow now is shorts. Now, you still should be doing long form, and maybe we'll cover that in a different podcast, but shorts and short form video content is unprecedented right now. So to get into the mechanics of short form content and why now is the best time to grow your audience, short form across all of these platforms has amazing organic reach. I just talked about organic reach a couple of sentences ago. And to simply put it, what organic reach is that your content is being pushed to more people who do not know you or do not follow your page. The reason this is happening is because there's a supply and demand issue when it comes to short form video content. There's a more demand for this type of content than there are people supplying it. There's more audience members that wants to watch short form video content than there are creators or videos for that demand. Now imagine that. Never before would I have thought that there's more people that want to watch content than there are videos to supply that craving, that urge, that demand. Now, remember, the reason this can happen when it comes to short form video content is people can consume dozens of pieces of content every minute, and they're not slowing down consumption at all. Compared to the supply of videos, there's currently more demand for watching videos than the supply of videos themselves. This allows the algorithms of platforms like TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram Reels to find more audience members for your content than you deserve. Gary Vee says that organic reach is like more people discovering who you are than you actually deserve, than the amount of followers you actually have. You can see this in real time right now as you guys are listening to this podcast. In just a few minutes, you guys can try this. Post a TikTok video. Let's say you're going to post a TikTok video either way because you're a creator and you're going to post something on your account. And for example, let's say you're a small creator with 10 followers on TikTok. Let's say you recently created your channel or you haven't been posting much and you have 10 followers. Sometimes when you post, even when you have 10 followers, your videos will get 60, 100, 10K, 30K, or sometimes even 100K views, and you have 10 followers at the time of posting that video that gets that many views. How can something like this happen? It's because of organic reach, and it's because of supply and demand. The Grind Media page is a great example of this. We recently started our Grind Media page, just 2 weeks ago, and it had 0 followers, clean slate. We just started a page. The first video we ever posted on the Grind Media TikTok page, and you can go follow us at Grind Media, GRND Media on TikTok. The first video we ever posted last week, now on September 16th, has 42,000 views on TikTok. And guys, when we posted this, we had less than 10 followers. Now I believe we have 15 followers, and I'm pretty sure all of which came from that specific video. The 3 videos after that video have less than 500 views. So one has, I believe, 100 views, one has like 40, and the other one's in like the 200 range, I believe. That just goes to show that on these short form platforms, it's not about your previous performance as much as how good your piece of content is right when you post it. That means that it's not about how well your videos have done before. It's about how well your video does at the moment of posting, at the moment that you are engaging in the comment section. It doesn't matter if your video before tanked or did really well. Every video that you post at that time is independent of its previous videos. Now, obviously, if you have a video that goes viral, there'll be more people visiting your page, there'll be more people checking out your pinned videos, there'll be more people following you, you'll be getting growing followers, and then they'll be coming and rewatching your content, so you'll be growing. But in the early stages, it's amazing the opportunity on TikTok right now, and even YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels, let's be honest. This is why it's so important, because the videos are so independent of each other. This is why it's so important that you guys follow trending patterns and trending sounds on TikTok and even YouTube Shorts. If there's something trending, you guys should hop on that, because you have a limited time, a limited window to really use that trend to gain a wider audience. If something is trending, that means there's a lot of eyeballs, there's a lot of activity. So if you hop on that trend, let's say you're a niche page, and you find a way to integrate that trend into your niche. Now, I gotta be honest, not all trends work for your niche pages. If you're just a niche page, and let's say in the finance niche, in the cooking niche, I do content in the tech niche, sometimes a lot of trends don't work for us, but we figure out a way to make trends that do to fit our niches. This is because the videos perform independently of each other. One video could be on a trend that happened 2 months ago and it did extremely well because you caught that trend at the right time and it did well. But the next video you didn't. It didn't do well. So it's very important that when you hop on a trend, when you find a trend, you hop on it and you create content on it. These are why these short form platforms work the way they do, because the audience consumes so much content. There's not enough content to feed the audience, and when the audience consumes that piece of content, they consume it, and then bam, the rewatchability of that piece of content is essentially gone. You don't really see an audience member that they might really like your piece of content. They might watch it and they might engage with it. They might even comment. They'll follow. And then you think they'll watch that same piece of content next week? It's highly unlikely. It's highly unlikely because by the time they watched your piece of content, engaged with it, even added you or followed your page, 2 minutes or 3 minutes passes, they've already consumed 24 or 30 pieces of content after your video. It's very difficult to keep their attention and keep them remembering you. That is why the follow button is so important on these short form platforms. Now, what I just talked about is, yes, the opportunity is so amazing right now to grow on these short form platforms. But what I just talked about and the example I just gave, that audience members are not remembering your piece of content, is actually one of the downfalls that people have been talking about short form video content. Mr. Beast's manager, Reed, talked about this in a recent podcast by Colin and Samir. What about short form creators like YouTube Shorts creators exclusively, and asked Reed what his thoughts were. And this is what Reed said, and I'm paraphrasing here. I implore you to go watch the Colin and Samir podcast and actually hear it from Reed himself. But basically, from what I got, what Reed said was, it's very difficult to build community with short form video content because of the fact that it's difficult for audience members to remember a creator. And I've seen this too. I'll watch a piece of content on TikTok or YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels. I'll really like that video. Let's say I really, dig that video. I like the creator. I like what it's about. And I'll even comment and I'll say in the comments, I like this. This is awesome. And I'll even follow that creator. For the life of me, I can't remember that creator's name. I can't remember their channel page. I can't even remember the caption or the hashtags. Barely. And as time passes, until the algorithm, and this is why TikTok shoots, it's very important that you follow creators, because TikTok will bring that creator back up on the Friends tab or even the For You page, because they have to, because it's very difficult for you to remember creators. Now, on long form pieces of content, let's say on YouTube long form, you watch the piece of content, or even you watch this podcast, you are more likely to remember the creator, what the podcast was about, remember the creator's name, remember the channel name, because you physically sat there and watched a video for more than 15 seconds. So that's kind of one of the downfalls of these short form video content platforms, but I still think that you guys should move forward with the opportunity here. You can still build a community. And this is where Graham Stephan, in a recent podcast, you guys should go check out another podcast. It's called Social Media Money on YouTube. And on that podcast, they interviewed Graham Stephan, and Graham Stephan talked about this. They were asked, well, Mr. Beast's manager, Reed, talked about you can't build community on short form content. And Graham Stephan had to say this.
Reed from Mr. Beast's team thinks that you can't really build a community with shorts or short form content as much as you can with long form.
I think you will eventually. I think YouTube will figure that out. YouTube is too smart to separate the two and be like, oh, this shorts algorithm is different from long form. There's a way. I guarantee they're working in a way.
YouTube is way too smart. They'll figure out a way where short form creators will figure out a way to help them build communities, have their community, remember their content, remember their names. And YouTube has started to do this a little bit, you guys. Now, remember, YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels are trying to compete against the kingpin, which is TikTok. TikTok has the fastest growing amount of eyeballs. Now, YouTube has a leg up because YouTube, when it comes to long form, or even when it comes to their full platforms, YouTube performs more like a search engine. It's actually the second most used search engine in the world. So people physically go on YouTube. I do it all the time, and I'm sure you guys do it too, where you'll search how to do something or what is this, and there'll be a YouTube video created from the community that'll pop up, or from a business or from whatever. YouTube is synonymous with by searching for stuff. Now, TikTok, there's indication that TikTok is going to become a search engine too, so you'll be able to search. But on YouTube, that's the leg up it has, because if it starts implementing features like TikTok into their YouTube Shorts section, then they have, the features of TikTok, the value of TikTok, and consuming the fast-paced content and going the virality of doing so. But then you also have the search engine aspects. So TikTok might not be number one when it comes to short form pretty soon. So we got to keep on top of that dynamic. YouTube is starting to implement this, where if you like a creator's short form content, their long form video content will where you can build community, where people do remember who you are, do remember your content, that'll be suggested to that audience member, which is unprecedented. So Graham Stephan said YouTube will figure it out. They have to figure it out. And I do agree with that, because YouTube, even though of all its mistakes, of all the stuff that we've been through, consuming content since the early 2010s to even back in 2008 when I started watching YouTube, they've went through the ups and downs, but they are the longest, I'm telling you here, one of the longest performing social medias. And that's what YouTube is. YouTube was there, guys, when MySpace was at its height. And most people don't remember what MySpace is, but they remember what YouTube is. And YouTube has launched careers, and YouTube has created more millionaires today than I believe that any other social media. And that's a very strong statement. But you can't sleep on Instagram Reels. Instagram Reels, virality on Instagram Reels is huge right now. I think our most played short form video content across all my brands is on Instagram Reels, which is a video that got 3.4 million views. And it was weird because that video performed extremely well on TikTok and YouTube Shorts. But when I posted on Instagram Reels, it went off. It went absolutely viral. That's kind of what goes on the landscape. The opportunity right now is unprecedented. I want to implore you guys to take upon this opportunity. Post on short form video content. And I through this podcast, I kind of went through why short form content is the way it is. The supply and demand aspect of it, the virality aspect of it, obviously the downfalls of it too. You can't build community. People's attention spans are a lot lower. But there's light at the end of the horizon. YouTube is going to figure this out. TikTok is going to integrate a way to figure this out. And one last thing I want to add when it comes to the whole YouTube Shorts TikTok dynamic. Recently, just in last week, you know how in TikTok, if someone comments on your video, you can reply to that comment through another video. You can essentially create another TikTok where their comment comes up. YouTube implemented the same thing, the same feature that TikTok had just this week. So this is going to be really interesting to see how that YouTube versus TikTok versus Instagram Reels, the top three right now. It's kind of like McDonald's versus Wendy's versus Burger King or whatever when it comes to fast food. It's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top, because YouTube has kind of the YouTube Shorts aspect. It's kind of like TikTok. They're adding features just like TikTok. But, and I don't know what that sound was, but they also have that long form and that search engine optimization, and their second most used search engine in the world. So it's going to be very interesting to see where they come out on top. Anyway, guys, I'm going to have to end it here. I hope in this podcast you learned about the opportunity, the unprecedented opportunity, and why you should be posting short-form video content, why short-form video content is the best possible way to grow your audience right now. In this time, it's the easiest way to grow a YouTube channel, easiest way to grow a TikTok following, a following nonetheless online, and short-form content is the way. And you've heard from one of the biggest creators in the finance niche on YouTube, Graham Stephan, and other creators have been talking about this too. I want to thank you guys for following our journey. This is episode 4, officially the second week of us posting these podcasts. We do 2 podcasts per week. We post one on Monday and we post another one on Friday, and it's really awesome that you guys can join in on us. If you guys are listening on Spotify, I would really appreciate it if you guys can leave a review on your thoughts of the podcast. Is this podcast helpful in helping growing your audience? And let us know what other topics you guys would like us to cover. Other creators, maybe we can interview some creators. That'd be really cool. If you guys are watching on YouTube, really appreciate you guys subscribing below. That would mean the world to us. We really want to create these pieces of content to make sure that we can help out our community, help out other creators that wanted to grow their short form awareness and following as well. Anyway, this has been Abby with GRND Media. The opportunity right now when it comes to short form video content is unprecedented, and I hope you guys take this opportunity head on. Thanks, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.